Interesting facts about famous people.
John Wayne's great black and white westerns. Well known as one of the best and most prolific actors in westerns, John Wayne was American movie royalty for decades, still is. My channel has many videos about Wayne and his movies, westerns and others. I thought today we might take a look at some, not all, of his great black and white westerns. Why not? If you enjoy this video, hit the notification button to get my new videos. If you want to check out my many other videos, head over to my channel. The link is in the description. Please take a moment to like and subscribe to the channel as well. I appreciate it. Let's get into it. The Big Trail, 1930. Breck leads a wagon train of pioneers through Indian attacks, storms, deserts, swollen rivers, down cliffs, and so on, while looking for the murderer of a trapper and falling in love with Ruth. John Wayne's first major movie role. Raoul Walsh was having trouble casting the movie when he saw Wayne taking furniture off a truck. Wayne worked for the studio in the prop department.
I'm heading back to pick it up again and follow it to the end.
Man that would follow a trail to the end.
Thanks, Bascom. Friends?
Breck, you're not leaving.
Yes, Miss Ruth, I'm pulling out.
They say you're going to hunt down Flack and Lopez.
It's what I aim to do.
But you can't do this awful thing. Take 2 lives.
Stagecoach, 1939. A simple stagecoach trip is complicated by the fact that Geronimo is on the warpath in the area. The passengers on the coach include a drunken doctor, 2 women, a bank manager who has taken off with his client's money, and the famous Ringo Kid, among others. The hat that John Wayne wears was his own. He would wear it in many westerns during the next 2 decades before retiring it after Howard Hawks's Rio Bravo, 1959, because it was simply falling apart. After that, the hat was displayed under glass in his home. In Old California, 1942, Boston pharmacist Tom Craig comes to Sacramento, where he runs afoul of local political boss Britt Dawson, who extracts protection money payment from the citizenry. Dawson frames Craig with poisoned medicine, but Craig redeems himself during the gold rush epidemic. Wayne and Decker starred in Old Oklahoma the next year, again as adversaries fighting over a woman. In both movies, the big fist fight occurs in the middle of the picture, and both result in a no-win. This was the first of many times during the 40s that stuntman Fred Graham doubled for John Wayne. Debut of actress Jessie Proctor. Tall in the Saddle, 1944. Most of the townsfolk seem to be at each other's throats, and the newcomer has soon come contrary to most of them. One of 23 films in which old friends John Wayne and Ward Bond appeared together. Idolised by British rocker and folk artist Joan Armatrading, John Wayne and the film Tall in the Saddle inspired a song of the same name on her third album in 1976. Ben Johnson, during his stuntman days, briefly doubled for John Wayne, while Wayne's regular double, Fred Graham, doubles for Harry Woods in a fight with Wayne.
My money. Sure. I guess I was wrong about that queen. Cap's an old gambler, and he said...
You took some money from my brother last night.
Did I?
You took it at the point of a gun, and I'm taking it back the same way. Stop or I'll kill you!
Angel and the Badman, 1947. Notorious gunman Quirt Evans is wounded and on the run. He arrives at a Quaker farm owned by Thomas Worth and his family, where he collapses from exhaustion. Evans asks Thomas and his daughter Penelope to drive him into town in their wagon in order to send an urgent telegram. The telegram contains a land claim and is sent to the Land Records Office. The Quaker family is ignoring the town doctor's advice to rid themselves of the gunfighter, and they compassionately tend to the delirious Evans. Pennyworth becomes intrigued by his ravings of past loves. When Evans regains consciousness, Penny explains to him about the Quaker credo of non-violence and way of life. 3 weeks later, two desperados, Laredo Stevens and Hondo Jeffries, ride into town looking for Evans. Penelope's younger brother, Johnny, rushes home to inform Evans of his visitors, and Evans prepares to flee. Penny, now smitten with Evans, offers to run off with him. Upon hearing the sound of approaching horses, Evans grabs his revolver and, to his horror, discovers that it has been emptied. His life is in serious danger. Red River, 1948. Tom Dunstan is finally ready to drive his 10,000 head of cattle to market. Back then, Dunstan, his sidekick Nadine Groot, and a teenage boy, Matt Garth, who was the only survivor of an Indian attack on a wagon train, started off with only 2 head of cattle. The nearest market is in Missouri, 1,000 miles away. Dunstan is a hard taskmaster, demanding a great deal from the men who have signed up for the drive. Matt is a grown man now, and fought in the Civil War. He has his own mind as well, and he soon runs up against the stubborn Dunstan, who won't listen to advice from anyone. Soon the men on the drive are taking sides, and Matt ends up in charge, with Dunstan vowing to kill him. Fort Apache, 1948. Deep into the territory of the great Apache chief, Cochise, the demoted Civil War general, Lieutenant Colonel Owen Thursday, reports for duty as a commanding officer at the remote US cavalry outpost known as Fort Apache, along with his daughter, Philadelphia. There, the arrogant commander will soon lock horns with a realistic and sensible second-in-command, Captain Kirby York, who, as an expert in the local Apaches, disagrees with Thursday, who wants to make a name for himself in the Arizona frontier. In the end, is it wise to engage in battle when personal glory is all you seek?
They're living right out there, Collingwood and the rest. They'll keep on living as long as the regiment lives. Their pay is $13 a month, and their diet beans and...
The Fighting Kentuckians, 1949. On a shopping trip to Mobile, Fleurette de Marchand, the general's daughter, meets John Breen, a Kentucky rifleman, who detours his regiment through Demopolis to court her. But Fleurette, despite her wish to marry for love, must bow to the needs of her fellow exiles, who are at the mercy of the rich and wealthy Blake Randolph, and who wants her as his bride. But John Breen has no intention of allowing that to happen, resigns from his regiment, and takes up the fight against Randolph and his hirelings. Rio Grand, 1950. Taking place after the Civil War, when the Union turned their attention towards the Apaches, Union officer Kirby York is in charge of an outpost on the Rio Grande, in which he is in charge of training of new recruits, one of which is his son, whom he hasn't seen in 15 years. His mother shows up to take him out of there. The decision to leave is left up to Trooper York, deciding to stay and fight. Kirby and Kathleen, though separated for years, fall back in love and decide that it's time to give it another try. but York faces his toughest battle when his unorthodox plan to outwit the elusive Apaches leads to possible court-martial. Locked in a bloody Indian war, he must fight to redeem his honour and save the love and lives of his broken family. I hope you enjoyed the video. Let me know what you think in the comments. I appreciate your likes and subscribers. Hit the notification button to get my new videos. Take a look at my channel and check out my Facebook page. The links are in the description. I am Wrangler. Bye for now. See you again soon.
Interesting facts about famous people.